Hello, everybody. So today we've already been talking about at New Employee Orientation. You've gotten already some of the history of Partners Healthcare, the mission, the culture, lots of other really good stuff that we've gone over already. And now we're going to get into the really nitty-gritty important portion of things: filling out your direct deposit, going into your benefits, signing up for your MBTA pass, stuff that you really care about. So if you want to turn to the first page, it has the 49 at the bottom. So we're going to go into how to log into PeopleSoft. So PeopleSoft, you're going to have it pop up when you first log in your Partners Applications menu, the little P at the bottom of the screen. And it's right there, PeopleSoft. Again, your Outlook's in there. Any other systems that you have access to are going to be in there. So you'll go to PeopleSoft, and it's the same. If you click that, it gives you the direct link to PeopleSoft. And you log in and use your password, the same exact login and password that you would log into your computer. And so you'll log in, you'll see the login screen right there. And then you'll want to click HRMS Production. Don't click Financials Production, only Finance Department uses that. You have to click HRMS Production before you go up to Main Menu, which is the next step on the next page. I'm going to get one of you guys that's going to hit Main Menu first and email me that your PeopleSoft doesn't work, but that's totally fine, it happens. But just please try to remember to click HRMS Production first. And then you go up to Main Menu and Self-Service. The Self-Service folder is anything related to you. That is you might be, if you're working in HR especially, you might be using PeopleSoft for other things, but the Self-Service tab is anything related to your employee profile. So the first step on here is payroll and compensation, probably the most important one for people. In payroll and compensation, that's the place where you can view your paycheck. You can fill in your direct deposit information. You can add up to 6 accounts in there. You just need your account number and your routing number, no need for a blank check or anything. And once you put that information in, it takes 2 paycheck cycles to go into effect. So you're going to get, the first 2 checks are going to be mailed to you. So just be aware of that. The payroll processes on Tuesdays, so you should get the checks by Thursday, or maybe by Friday. Just give the mail a little bit of time. And then it'll go right into your accounts. Again, you can add 6 accounts in there, and we're paid every week, every Thursday. You can also fill in your MBTA pass, elect your MBTA pass in here. We're going to go over that in a couple more slides, though, about logistics of the MBTA pass, but you elect that you want it in here as well. So the next page, page 52 at the bottom, is you'll want to go into the personal information folder, and that's the place. Make sure we have all your correct personal information. Your name is spelled correctly, your address is correct, especially for the payroll and compensation. Those checks are going to be mailed to whatever address we have on file for you. So just make sure it's up to date if you've recently relocated. And you'll want to elect in here your vaccinations, whether you received or declined the flu vaccine. It's not required to get the flu vaccine if you're seated, unless you're seated at the hospitals, but it's required to elect whether you did or didn't, probably just to know who causes an outbreak if it happens. The next page is also in the personal information folder, the vaccination status I mentioned, and then we ask people to self-identify. This is optional, but we ask people to self-identify their race and ethnic group, their veteran status, and their disability status. It's really important for our reporting purposes, especially with our whole diversity and inclusion initiative that's going on within Partners. It's really important for our reporting purposes. So again, optional, but strongly, very helpful. And then the final tab is the Learning and Development tab. Partners offers many, many courses for learning and development, such as presentation skills, effective time management, lots of good stuff. So that's the final tab in there as well. And then just to mention, HealthStream is on page 55, and that is a place where you'll want to log in and complete all of the trainings assigned to you, and it's very important to complete these trainings assigned to you in order to maintain your access. If you don't complete the, specifically the ethical standards training, your systems access will get shut off. So that is all the PeopleSoft information. Does anybody have any questions about direct deposit Filling out the MBTA pass. Okay, thank you. So I went fast at the end because I thought my presentation was going to be short, actually. But I guess it was just right.
Or 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay.
Oh, so I actually thought your pace was really good. I didn't even notice that you sped up at the end. And you seemed like you knew a lot about it, and you probably like delivered this a bunch of times, but I felt like you still like sounded excited about it, which was good. And I liked how you made like a few jokes in there, and people could really relate to that too, especially new hires. So it was good. I think you might have said a couple times. That was the only thing I noticed. But.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you were very knowledgeable. You definitely knew what you were talking about, and I actually learned some stuff. I had no clue what the MS and the HR, like I knew it was HRMS, but I didn't realize that it was like HR and then math. And also I learned about the whole health stream, like you will lose your access. I had no clue, and I'm always late doing those. I would have to agree, you said a lot, and I know I say a lot, but and I'm saying it. There was this trainer, and he told me he said a lot as well, and he replaced with okay. So anytime he said he would say okay, and it just flowed. Like, it made sense. I don't know if that's something that
I think
would work, but
any non-filler that's just taking up ear space that isn't valuable
just needs to go.
It's easier to let go.
Other than that, you did awesome. Did real good.
I think that you're very comfortable doing those presentations. You like it. You're very expressive. You smile. You look into people's eyes and you refer to people, and you ask questions. You look into someone in their eye. This time you used the table. Seemed that it was helpful to you as well. You did a good usage of the handouts, referring to page X and Y, and then we could actually follow the whole thing. It was very easy to follow. To improve, I don't know, the arms maybe.
Because you just did one, you know that, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I know one of the things you wanted to work on was making formality, and I think you did do that very well. Like, you were very formal in your presentation, but you still had that, like, I can approach you and ask you questions, like that approachability in your presentation, which I thought was good. I think it was a good presentation. I don't have anything negative.
Hi. I thought you had a really great opening, and you knew where the end was coming without saying like your normal English, like beginning, body, conclusion. So I thought that was good. I thought it was good that you asked questions at the end. That did anyone have questions, and led them into like about the I almost said M2U, about the MBTA or whatever the case might have been. Make good eye contact. You mentioned before you went up that you usually do PowerPoint, but you really transitioned well into using paper, I thought. It still was able to look up at people. Something that Rose Sheehan says all the time is like you always say the how, but no one ever says the why. You followed up every how with a why. So what, how you can do this and why you need to is you will no longer have access if you don't, for example. You do a lot of but I honestly don't know if I ever would have recognized that had I not been in this class critiquing for ums.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of flowed well, so I don't know if I would have recognized that at any other point.
I think
Every single one of you has started. Every single one has started with the word It's driving me insane.
I realized you also said we were supposed to do like one thing, and I rolled off like 30. Sorry.
I think you were really engaging. You had a good smile. You brought people in. You flowed with the information, so I don't think it was jerky or anything. You definitely know what you're talking about. So you did really a good job on it. The only thing, I don't know if it's just my thing, you do it that snapping at times, and it's like, what is that? But it could be dry mouth or anything like that, so just kind of be careful of that.
You keep finding that.
I don't know, because they used to get on me about it, and like, oh, why you snap? I'm like, I'm not doing that, but I do it.
I'll look for it, thank you.
So I think you mastered the material. I think it was very helpful that you said like next page, which says 52, especially that these were not the numbers we would expect, like 1, 2, 3. So I think that was very helpful. I like how it is, serious material, but you smiled a few times, so you're very relatable, and that makes it a lot easier. I felt you didn't look at the center of the room, but I don't know if that's correct. I saw you on the two sides, but I didn't see you look at the center.
Probably avoiding the camera.
One of the things that you do that I think is effective is, we all use our hands, but you use your head. When you talk to people, you do a lot of nodding, and I think that forces people, sometimes you're daydreaming, if someone's speaking, they're nodding at me, I'm like, oh, bring me back to square one. So I think that's really useful. You do that, you're like looking for agreement from people.
You're doing it, she's doing it now, right?
So it did, because sometimes, we do, even if you're the greatest speaker, right? We're up all night with the baby or whatever, and or you have ADD and you're not, so it brings people back, oh, she's gonna ask me a question, makes you focus back. So I think that's to your advantage. I also think your presentation, it's really a technical demonstration, so you do have to have a PowerPoint. Not everybody's techie, and like the first thing you drove home was the Partners Apps menu with the P on it, and you'd be surprised how many people just don't. So, your emphasis on bringing people attention to the key thing, you gotta log in, and you did reference the page numbers, so it's helpful. It's tough. I like the idea of not using anything, but you have to use a PowerPoint, because you're doing a demo. You're taking people step by step to a technical application. So I think you did a good job with that.
Thanks. I thought it was great. I think you came across really confident. You knew what you were talking about. You explained everything really, really well. It's not the most exciting topic, but you kept your expressions. I really liked it. I thought it was good.
So agree with everything, particularly your facial expression. You were so animated in a positive way. That, I think, is what encourages people to want to participate. Who mentioned the how, and the what thing? You did. All right, so here's what I'm going to say to that. I'd actually reverse it. I would do the why something is important, and here's how you do it. So it's kind of like, let me give you a tip. So it's almost like it's a sales methodology. So I want to sell you on this is important because here's what you're going to get, or here's what won't happen. Okay, so now I'm going to beat you up, because I think you're a really good presenter, right? You've nailed this. You know what you're doing. So you're ready to bring it to that next level. And the whole idea of formality, here's what tripped you up. In the first minute, you use the word gotten. Good stuff. We're going to talk about stuff you care about. One of you guys.
You said I used you guys as the first time too.
Yeah, last time. Another thing about word choice. So you should get it on Thursday or maybe Friday. Really should, or maybe we're talking about my money. When am I going to get it? Gonna? I can't believe I just said that. Going to. So what you need to do is pay attention to your word choice. So someone said that you're so calm up there, like you definitely know what you're doing. And I think that that's almost to a disadvantage with you. You know it so well, you almost don't need to pay attention to it. I could wind you up and put you in the room tomorrow and you could do it cold. So now you need to start bringing your game to that next level and think about what are the words that I really want to use to tighten this up and get away from you guys gotten good stuff, make it more factual. And I think that will start to elevate you into the next step. The other piece about the diversity thing, where it was presented as, well, it's optional. You started to fall into like this really awkward, we want you to do it, but we don't know how to really ask you to do it. And it came across as awkward, like this is a topic I don't feel comfortable with because it's optional, but we want you to do it. I would instead embrace it and say, one of the things a partner is really proud about is our diversity program and our campaign, and we love to collect data just to demonstrate how well we're doing against where we would like to be. So although it's optional, it would really help our continued efforts.
And it goes with the why first.
Yeah,
Really
and-
driving the why.
Yeah.
And then the how, cause I
And-
started with the how. So it was like, cause it starts
you
with it's
finish
optional,
off.
it starts that it is optional to do.
Right.
And then I went into the why, so maybe if I started with the why. then-
Yeah, and really punch a stronger hole in it, right? It's not about it's being optional. It's, we really want to collect the data because we are really proud of who we are as an organization. So make people be like, yeah, I'm going to tell you who I am. So for you, it's really tightening up. And the thing about the I want you to watch the video. It was primarily during the transitions. And that's what says to me, she knows her content. You don't have to practice it anymore. You can walk in and wing it. And that's what happened. That's where your were.
Yeah.
So.
Thank
nice
you.
job.
Thank you.